So one of my subscribers, a man Knight, I don't know which country she's from or he's from, they said, help you make a video like that about converting units. They are basing on the video of dimensional analysis, the full lecture, and they were asking me to make a video on conversion of units. And this person called a man Knight says it will be more than useful or helpful. Thank you again, sir. God bless you. Yes, I saw your comment, a man Knight, and I am responding to your request. I promised 14 hours ago that I'll post the link to that video in this very video thread, and this is me recording this video right now. So in response to that request, I am making a video on conversion of units. It will be a very quick one, but I hope I'll be able to cover the most essential things. So here we go. We are looking at units or conversion of units right there. Now, of course, we all know that we deal with units in our everyday life to measure things, to measure distances, to measure, weight, to measure mass of objects. And sometimes we are required to convert these units from one form to another. So this is me trying to do so in this session. In our earlier sessions, we covered the fundamental quantities. And when we're talking about these fundamental quantities, we're mostly talking about mass, length, and time. These are the fundamental physical quantities, and it is from these quantities that all the other, derived quantities derive their units from. This mass, the SI unit for mass, well, is grams or kilograms. Length can be measured in meters, and then, of course, time is measured in seconds. These units are sometimes called base units. Encountered with scenarios where the units we're supposed to, measure are too big. For example, if we are measuring, mass and we are measuring it in grams, sometimes you might find that the mass is too big. Maybe we've measured it and it's the equivalent of, let's say, 1,000 grams. So instead of writing the whole 1,000 grams, we shall simply come and say 1 kilogram. And so this prefix, this K, this kilo, is simply representing the 3 zeros, the 1,000. So in other words, the word kilo here is what we are calling a prefix. So this kilo is actually a prefix. Now, maybe if I may say by definition, a prefix is simply just a word or a letter or a number that is placed before another. So right here in our table, this table here, we have, the base, the prefixes are here in this column right there, as you can see. We have the prefixes there. We have tera, we have giga, mega, kilo, hecto, deca, and whatever. Then deci, centi, milli, micro, and nano. So those are the prefixes that we have. The common ones we use, of course, there could be more. Now, these prefixes help us to write very big units or very small units quite easily. The example that I have given here is that if we're having 1,000 grams, we can simply write it as 1 kilogram. This K, the kilo, simply means 1,000. And if you come to our table here, if you look at kilo, it's right there. Kilo is there, it means 1,000. So the way this table works, or the way you're seeing this table, is that we are having the prefix right here. Let's say this is like our center here. Let's say this is meters here. If I say decimeters, it means, let me write it down here. If I say decimeters, it means it's equivalent to times 10. So it means it's 10 meters. I'm talking about 10 meters. If I say hectometers, the word hectare means it is 10 to the power 2. It is, 100 meters. If I am talking about kilometers here like that, then kilo means 1,000. So it is 1,000 meters. If I'm talking about megameters, that is mega capital M meters, I'm talking about mega means 6 zeros. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a million meters, and so on and so forth. So it can also be in terms, we can also look at this as maybe this is grams. So if it is grams, so this becomes, 10 decagrams, hectagrams, kilograms, and so on. Now, when we are moving upwards like that, of course, we are multiplying by 100. When we are moving downwards, we are dividing by the respective figures that you're seeing. If it is deci, remember decimeter means we are the deci part, we are dividing by 10. If it is a centimeter right here, if we say centimeter, the word centi, this C, means we are dividing by 100. So 1 centimeter means it is 1 over 100 of a meter. If it is a millimeter, for example here, if this is a millimeter, if we say millimeter, this milli here means it is, we're dividing by 1,000. So 1 millimeter is 1 over 1,000 of a meter. Now this is just a summary of the entire table, but let's get into a few calculations and make this even clearer. Let's rewrite these statements using single digits only. This is 3,000 liters. So 3,000 liters is the same as saying 3 times, this is 3 million liters. So 3 million liters means it's the same as saying 3 times 1 million. So if it is 3 times 1 million, this is the same as saying it is 3, multiply that by, within our prefixes, what prefix is corresponding to 1 million? If you come here up there, the prefix that corresponds to a million is this one right here. It's called mega. So what is going to happen is that we shall come here and say, remember this is in liters, so it is 3 million liters, so it is 3 times mega liters, and this is the same as 3 mega liters. In other words, when I say 3 megaliters, it's the same as saying 3 million liters. Let's do one more example. If I said 7 times 10 to the times 1 over 3 grams, this is the same as 7, I'm writing this as one figure, it's going to become 7, multiply that by, now what is this? This is 1 over 3. This prefix, what does this correspond to? This prefix corresponds to, we shall go back to our table, and our table here, the time is this, milli, yeah? 10 to the power 3, this kind of thing right there. So it means that this is going to become 7 times, milli is a small m, milligrams. So this is the same as 7 milligrams. You get the idea of how prefixes work. So let's get to this. This is 8, billion bytes. So it's the same as saying 8 times 1. 8 times a billion bytes. So we ask ourselves that which prefix corresponds to this? This is the same as saying 8, multiply that by, let's get back to our table. And our table in this case, we are able to see that the one that corresponds to this is this one here, giga. Because it's times 10 to the power 9. So this is the same as saying it is gigabytes. So that's how you come up with 8 gigabytes. 8 GB. Like that. So, again, you get the idea. From these prefixes that you're seeing, there are 7 that are very commonly used. And there is an acronym that is mostly used by these 7. And we can use these acronyms to help us make any kind of conversion. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to list down these common 7 prefixes that we normally use, and then from them I'll be able to show you how we can make conversions without necessarily having to memorize the whole table the way it is, but I'm just going to show you another way. The 7 prefixes that we normally use are mostly coming from up here. We have this right here from kilo, moving down to right there. There are 7: kilo, hectare, deca, then whatever base unit is there, then deci, centi, and milli. These are the ones that we normally use, commonly use. Let me rewrite them. You'll excuse the sound of the birds in the background. This is Africa, man. Gifted by nature. So here we go. We have kilo. So that's the acronym I've been talking about, the acronym that helps you to remember those prefixes in their order. We have King Henry's, no, King Henry's daughter Mary does careless mistakes. The king, from the Q we extract the K. The H here, this is Hector, this is Deca, this is Mary. Now this is for meters, right? So we can write M right there, then this is decimeter, then this is centi, and then this is milli. These are the common prefixes that we normally use. It means that right here, we can either go ahead and say this is, if it is, meters, like this is our base unit we are using, then it means this is kilometer, hectometer, decimeter, no, decameter, millimeter, decimeters, centimeters, and millimeters. If it is not meters we are using, let's say we are using grams, then this becomes, decigrams, these are hectograms, these are kilograms, and these here we add this decigrams, centigrams, milligrams. So I think you get the idea. Depending on the base unit you're using here, the unit you're using here is going to determine what you're going to be putting right there. So let's get into the calculations. So we are going to use this to help us know how to convert. So let's first do that one. Convert 0.1 grams to kilograms. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to first write that down. King Henry's daughter Mary does careless mistakes. Now, of course, this is kilometer, hectometers, this is meters, decimeters, centimeters, and millimeters, right? Like that. So what I'm going to do is that I know I want to convert from grams to kilograms. So this is what I'm going to do. I first come and look for grams. Where are grams? Oh, we are converting in grams. So this is going to be grams. That is grams. Let me change this right here. So we are converting from 0.1 grams. So it is from grams. So we know we are converting from this unit. I mark it to kilograms, and the kilograms are right there. So what I do is that I see that we are moving from kilograms to grams. How many units are in there? So I'm going to simply come and put a 1 there, then 0, then 0, then 0. There are 3 zeros for me to move from here up to grams. So I'll simply come here and say 1 kilogram. I'll come and say 1 kilogram is equivalent to 1,000 grams. 1,000 grams. Then I'll ask myself, what about 0.1 kilograms? So 0.1, what about 0.1 grams? So I'll say 0.1 grams. I'll put that on the side of grams. What is this equivalent to? It's equivalent to something that I do not know. So I put a value of x there, then I will cross multiply. So when I cross multiply, this times that becomes 1,000x is giving us me this times that, which is 0.1. I'll divide both sides by 1,000. This cancels with that. I remain with my value of x as, of course, my answer here. This is 0.1 grams. This is 1,000 grams. This is going to become, when I cancel that, this decimal point goes behind. When I cancel that, this decimal point continues behind. When I cancel that, this decimal point continues up to there. And so it means in here we have 0 there, 0.00, like that. So we have 0.0001. And since we are converting to kilograms, our answer is in kilograms. So by doing that, we have converted 0.1 gram to kilograms, just like that. Let's do another worked example. So here again, they're asking us to convert from kilograms to milligrams. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. King Henry's daughter. This time we shall say Grace, since we are dealing with grams. Since King Henry's daughter Grace does careless mistakes. And since it is in grams, this is kilograms, hectograms, decagrams, then the grams, then the decigrams, centigrams, then milligrams. We are converting from kilograms, so I'll come and mark off my kilograms right there, that these are the kilograms. Then I'm converting, turning them to milligrams. The milligrams are right there. So I'll come here and say this is 1,000,000. Then I'll come here and say that 1 kilogram is equivalent to, you know how many zeros are these? 1,000,000 milligrams. 1,000,000 milligrams. So what about 0.004 kilograms? 0.004 kilograms. What are they equivalent to? How many milligrams are they equal to? Because that's what the question wants. So on the side of milligrams, I'll put x, then I'll cross multiply. So I'll say x times 1 is x is going to give me this times that, 0.004. Multiply that by the million. And of course, that 0, that decimal point moves right there. Cancel that 0, that decimal point moves there. Cancel that 0, that decimal point moves there. So you remain with 4 times 1,000 remaining. So this becomes 4 times 1,000, which is 4,000. And that is in milligrams. And that's the answer. So you've converted to milligrams just like that. Let's do another worked example. So I can, as you can see here now, this thing here is now in meters, right? Meters is the base unit. So again, I'll do the same thing. I'll come and say King Henry's daughter Mary does careless mistakes. This is kilometer. It's meters because meters is our base unit. Meters, hectometer, decameter. This is meters. Then we have decimeters, centimeters, and then millimeters. And then now we are converting from kilometers to centimeters. So what we do is that we are going to come here and say kilometers. So we mark off kilometer right there. 2 centimeters. So centimeters are right there. Then I'll come and put a 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So I'll come and say 1 kilometer is equivalent to 100,000 centimeters, like that. However, we are converting from kilometers to centimeters. So what about 0.28 kilometers? So 0.28 kilometers, what are they equivalent to? I'll put there x because I'm not aware. Then I'll cross multiply. So x times 1 gives me x is going to give me this times that, that is 0.28. Multiply that by 100,000, and well, that decimal point moves, that decimal point moves. We remain with now 28 times 1,000, giving us 28,000, and centimeters. So convert 0.06 hectometers to millimeters. Again, meters is our base unit, so I'll simply come here and say King Henry's daughter Mary does careless mistakes. This is kilometers, this is hectometers, decimeters, meters. No, this is decameters, meters, decimeters, centimeters, and millimeters. Okay, so we are converting from hectometers to millimeters. So I'll come here and denote that we are converting from hectometers right there. So hectometers are here. I'll mark them to millimeters, and the millimeters are right there. Then I'll come here and say 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Then I'll simply come and say 1 hectometer is equivalent to, this is 100,000 millimeters. What about this? 0.06 hectometers. So on the side of hectometers, I'll come and say, what about 0.06 hectometers? How many millimeters are they equal to? Right there. We can put x. Then I'll cross multiply. So I'll end up with x times 1, giving me x is going to give me this 0.06. Multiply that by 100,000. And I will end up with, that 0 decimal point moves to that point, that cancel that 0 decimal point moves to there. So you have 6 point something, 6 times 1,000, giving me 6,000, and that is in millimeters, like that. So let's do. So here we are converting from centimeters to meters. Again, I'll do the same thing. I'll come and say King Henry's daughter Mary does careless mistakes. Meters being the base unit, so this is kilometers, hectometers, decameters, meters, decimeters, centimeters, millimeters, just like that. So we are moving from centimeters to meters. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to mark these two. I'm marking from centimeters, so our centimeters are right there, 2 meters, and our meters are right here. And I'm going to do as before. I'm going to simply come and put my 1, 0, 0. Then I'll come to my working and say that 1 meter right there, 1 meter is equivalent to how many centimeters? 100 centimeters. 100 centimeters. What about this 0.75 centimeters? So we come on the side of centimeters. 0.75 centimeters. What are they equivalent to? How many meters? Put an x. Cross multiply. This times that is 100x is equal to 0. This times 1 is 0.75. We shall end up with our value of x as, cancel that 0, decimal point moves behind, cancel that 0, decimal point moves behind. Our decimal point is there, so we shall end up with 0.0. So it's 0.0075. And these are, our answer should be in meters, right? So this is in meters. So let's make a few conversions on area and area and volume and capacity. So how about this? Convert. So before we've just been looking at converting like meter to millimeters, it's been looking at conversion of length and mass. Now we are looking at conversion of area and volume. And when you look at area and volume, remember their units are mostly, for area it is meters squared or kilometers squared. And then for volume it will either be meters cubed or whatever. It's in cubed. So let's look at this. How do we handle when we have squares or units are squared like that? Again, we're going to go ahead and say 1, King Henry's daughter Mary does careless mistakes, and we are going to put the kilometer, hectometer, decameter, meters, decimeters, centimeters, and then the millimeter right there like that. Then from there we are converting from meters, so we identify that we are moving from meters. Where are the meters? They are right there, meters, to millimeters, and where are our millimeters? They are right there. And so we shall come and say 1, 0, 0, 0. And then we shall come here and say that 1 meter, right there, 1 meter is equivalent to 1,000 millimeters. Is equivalent to 1,000 millimeters. What about, remember now we are converting from meters squared to millimeters squared. This is just 1 meter is equivalent to 1,000 millimeters, but here this is now squared. So since our units are squared, so we are going to do the same here. We are going to square that, and we are also going to square it. So when we square 1 meter squared, we shall end up with 1 meter squared is equivalent to, when we square 1,000, that is like 1,000 times 1,000, we shall end up with 1 million. A million. Then when we square millimeters squared, it becomes millimeters squared. And so that's the right conversion now. It becomes 1 meter squared is equivalent to 1,000,000 millimeters squared. Now that we've got the conversion in terms of squared, now we can go ahead and now ask ourselves, what about this 3 meters squared? So what about 3 meters squared? What is it going to be equal to? In millimeters squared, we call that x. When we cross multiply, x times 1 becomes x. It's going to become, that is 3, multiply that by 1 million. And our answer is going to be 3 million. And this is in millimeters squared. We've made the conversion. Let's do another worked example to illustrate this further. Convert 10.4 centimeters cubed to meters cubed. Convert 10.4 centimeters cubed to meters cubed. We are going to do the same procedure. We shall come here and say King Henry's daughter Mary does careless mistakes. So kilo is in, it's meters, yeah? So kilometers, hectometers, decameters, that's meters, then decimeters, centimeters, then millimeters, just like that. So we are converting centimeters. We come and identify where centimeters are. They are right here, centimeters, to meters. So the meters are here. So again, we shall go ahead and say 1, 0, 0. And I'll simply come and say that 1 meter right there, which is 1 meter, is equivalent to 100 centimeters. 100 centimeters. But now our conversion is to the power 3 right there, as you can see. So because our conversion is to the power 3, I'm going to go ahead and also make this to the power 3 like that. When I make that to the power 3, it comes down to this. 1 to the power 3 remains 1. Meters cubed remains meters cubed. So 1 meters cubed is equivalent to 100 to the power 3. What is 100 to the power 3? That means it's 100 times 100 times 100, which means it's going to be 1 million. That is 1,000,000. Centimeters to the power 3, that is centimeter times centimeter times centimeter, remains centimeters cubed. So in other words, 1 meter cubed is equivalent to 1,000,000 centimeters cubed. Now that we have gotten the conversion that is in terms of to the power 3, then we ask ourselves, what about now the question they've asked us? What about 10.4 centimeters cubed? So I'll come here on the side of centimeters cubed, I'll put 10.4 centimeters cubed. What is it in terms of meters cubed? I'll put my value of x there, then I'll cross multiply x times that is going to give me 1,000,000. X is equivalent to this times 1, which is 10 0.4 centimeters cubed times 1. Yeah. So we divide both sides by a million. Divide both sides by a million. Like that. So when we divide both sides by 1 million like that, we shall end up with, cancel that, decimal point moves backwards, cancel that, decimal point moves backwards, cancel that, it continues to move again, cancel that, it continues to move again, cancel that, the decimal point keeps moving, cancel that 0, decimal point keeps moving up to there. When the decimal point moves there, it means we have a 0 here, 0.0000, like that. So in other words, here we have 0.0000104, and that is what we have as meters cubed. And that's our answer. So I think from those few worked examples that we have done, you've been able to see how we convert from one unit to another, whether the units are in terms of lengths, that is when we are converting from 1 meter to centimeter, or when we are converting area, that is from meter squared to centimeters squared, or if you're converting volumes, that is from meters cubed to centimeters cubed. I hope this is clear. In case we have any further questions or any clarifications that need to be done, please let me know in the comment section below. Remember to share these videos with your fellow classmates so that they may also benefit from these free video tutorials here on YouTube. My name is Arnold Rangakuramia, and this is Kisembo Academy. Take care.